Welcome to our world of peoples, Asia. 64% of the world's population live here. Men, women, children, created in God's image, for whom He sent His Son to die. Asia's people represents a diversity of ethnic origins, language, culture and religion. And God's Spirit is wonderfully moving in Asia. Asian Outreach is co-labouring with Him, and we are seeing tremendous results. Makila would have been condemned to become a semi-nomadic wanderer, struggling to stay alive by scavenging wild bamboo roots or carrying vegetables to grow amidst the jungles. Many little girls Makila's age are used in child prostitution in Thailand cities. At best, she would have been a married mother at the age of 12. But because of the Asian Outreach Samaritan Hostel in Thailand, Makila is now clothed, fed and educated. In fact, Makila is the most promising student in her class. But most importantly, Makila has found Jesus Christ as her own personal saviour. Imti used to walk 20 kilometres to go to a church. He loved the Lord, but had no church in his village. Now Imti doesn't have to walk 20 kilometres. Asian Outreach has planted a church right in Imti's village. Corporal Rodriguez's platoon was dispatched to the Mindanao Mountains in the Philippines. It was there, between patrols, that he was given an Asian Outreach-produced gospel comic, which related a powerful testimony of Christ's changing power. That night, in his barracks, Rodriguez asked Jesus to save him. Asian Outreach has long believed in the power of the printed word. For 3 decades, literally millions of correspondence courses in numerous Asian languages have played a key role in Asian Outreach's commitment to changing lives. In 1960, along the waterfront of Hong Kong, Dr. Paul Kaufman, founding president of Asian Outreach, gave birth to his dream.
This is where it all began. Many years ago, I left China. My father and mother were missionaries in China. With that kind of a background, I had a tremendous burden for the peoples of Asia.
When Paul Kaufman founded Asian Outreach, China was firmly sealed behind the bamboo curtain. But today, the most populous nation on earth is open and responsive to the gospel. Today, our co-workers and our friends deliver thousands of Bibles, Christian literature and gospel cassettes to China's believers every week. Reverend George Chen, who was jailed 18 years for his faith, is most conscious of this hunger for the Bible.
Today, the greatest needs, the most urgent needs for China's Christians is the Bible.
Not only is Hong Kong the strategic base of Asian Outreach's China work, but it's also the hub of our Asia-wide ministries. From this thriving megacity, David Wang leads our team.
What is Asian Outreach? As I see it, Asian Outreach is a movement of God's people reaching out to lives, touching lives, and changing lives in Asia.
From the high-rises of Hong Kong to the bamboo huts of Thailand, the contrast is startling. But the people's need of the gospel is the same. From our jungle base in the heart of the infamous Golden Triangle, our co-workers reach into the lives of the tribal minorities. The people of Suandok didn't want the gospel. Singh had gone to the hill tribe to tell the people about Jesus. The tribal chief's son Janu was attracted to the gospel message. It was the beginning of a long night's conversation, which ended with Janu's decision to give up his family tradition and follow Jesus. Today, Janu and Singh are pastoring a small church in Ban Parmasai village, leading many villagers to follow Jesus. In the heart of Jakarta, Indonesia's capital, rural immigrants cluster together in makeshift homes. Here they fight to survive the heat, the hunger, the despair. Our team brings them hope.
My name is Sayogo. I am 40 years old. I have lived most of my life in Jakarta under this bridge. My family and I are very poor. I have made my living selling old newspapers, tin cans, bottles, and anything else the scrap merchants would buy. I used to pray to Allah 3 times a day, but I was always miserable. I am different now. I have hope because I believe in the only true God. The people from Asian Outreach introduced me to Jesus Christ. They began coming to our poor community under the bridge. They talked to us and listened to us. We felt this was strange. No one ever paid attention to us before. But they cared for us and they said it was because of Jesus Christ. Now I understand.
Today, Sayogo goes to church all the time. He has found new hope. His life is now filled with purpose. He shares this joy with his new friends who continue to support him in many ways. Training and equipping leaders is an essential goal. Rico is a leader trained by Asian Outreach in the Philippines. Growing up as a boy with 7 brothers and sisters in a barrio near the wharf on the southernmost island, Rico is no stranger to hardship. On the wharves, Rico learned the strenuous and sometimes crooked way of life of the pantaloon workers called porters. After his graduation from Asian Outreach's training school, the Great Commission Institute, Rico was overwhelmed with concern for his boyhood friends. He knew the struggles and life of a porter because he had passed through that himself. He planned to tell them about Jesus. And as a result of his witness, almost 200 porters have received Jesus as their saviour. Today, his friends call him Pastor. He's glad to be a friend of the porters again. Most of all, he's glad he could introduce each one of them to Jesus, the best friend of all. On the other side of town, amongst the urban poverty, Asian Outreach co-workers have established a ministry of mercy. Many of the town's inhabitants are sick with tuberculosis and pneumonia. Children are malnourished, their bodies reduced to skin and bones. Many families live in a quagmire of poverty and homelessness. The Ministry of Mercy is meeting these needs, providing primary medical care and helping provide basic homes for those living in the poorest conditions. Their compassion has resulted in literally hundreds finding new hope in Jesus. Whether it's the Philippine mountains or the Himalayan peaks of Nepal, the dense jungles of lush tropical vegetation or the concrete jungles of Asia's cities, Asian Outreach's focus remains unchanged, reaching people, touching people, changing people.
But there are lives that we cannot touch. These are the people that live in the restrictive countries of Asia. But we are broadcasting the gospel to them every day. We are broadcasting into China. We are reaching into North Korea. We are reaching into Vietnam and Cambodia. This is a letter that I just received from Vietnam. A young person saying to us, "My life was saved because of your broadcast." Asian Outreach is determined to fulfill our God-given goal of Asia 2000. By the year 2000, we will be reaching into every nation in Asia, touching lives, changing lives. And we want to invite you to join us. You can join us by your prayers. You can join us by your giving. You can join us by actually coming over and team up with us. Please join us by writing to the address that is on your screen now. Thank you, and God bless you.